Hey guys, what is going on? Devon here. Hope you guys are having a good day so far, and welcome to another installment of Kingdom Hearts 101. I am joined, per usual, by the man, the myth, the kind of beard, Josh Music. Josh, say hello.
Hello, Josh.
Yeah,
Josh,
buddy.
hello.
Josh, hello. We are back. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. Last time we were in Punta Cana, and now the world is ending.
Thank you, Rona.
Thank you, Rona. You technically can't say it, otherwise you get demonetized, so...
Thank you, bad thing that's happening currently in the world.
Yeah. Alright, but,
Are you
yeah.
kidding me? You actually get demonetized for saying that?
Yeah, technically you can. Don't ask me how that works, but it does. But,
Jeez,
yeah,
anyways.
through whatever means necessary, we've been following all the social distancing, whatnot, but you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about how we have completed the final game before jumping into the big one. The next Kingdom Hearts game on our to-do list, which is, of course, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage. Jesus Christ, these titles.
Just a little bit long.
Yeah, just a little bit long. So this is the final game that was part of the Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. What the hell, guys? Collection that was part of the PS4 that... on the PS4 that came with Dream Drop Distance HD and back cover, which we covered last time. And yeah, today this was the last game. It was an original game built up from the ground up for this collection that was basically acting as an elaborate tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3. It has sort of the same gameplay style. It's in the new graphics engine with the Unreal Engine 4. And it kind of acts as a pseudo-prologue to the events of what we'll see in Kingdom Hearts 3, though focusing this time on Aqua, kind of acting as also a kind of sequel to Birth by Sleep, showing what she went through with the Realm of Darkness and whatnot. But yeah, per usual, we are going to talk about the game as we have just completed it a little while ago, and then we're going to do kind of a little bit of a recap, because it's been a while since we've gone through all the games, so we'll recap where we've been up to this point, and then, of course, we will cap it off, per usual, with Josh's predictions for the final game that we'll be talking about, which is, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3, which I'm very excited to be talking about. So, without further ado, let's get right into the discussion. Josh, what were your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts shit, I can't even get these titles straight. Kingdom Hearts 0.2, Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage, mouthful of peanut butter and chocolate. What's...
I also enjoyed Kingdom Hearts Reese's Cup. Kingdom Hearts Bay Simulator.
Oh, God.
Actually,
yeah. Bay Simulator is a good way to put it here.
That's funny, because, okay, so I liked the game overall. It was fairly short. Like, we beat it in, what, 2 hours?
Mm-hmm. Just under 2.5 hours.
That was even dragging it on a little bit because I'm a goof and I like to look at like every little detail. I was kind of marveling at the Unreal 4 engine and all the stuff in the background and the landscape and stuff like that. So it probably could have been done in like an hour and a half, really. Like, it's a short game.
It's a very short game, yeah. I that was even one thing I told you is when we started the game, I was like, yeah, we could probably get this done in one sitting if we're lucky. And sure enough, we did.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it overall. I mean, obviously we're just doing this to try to get through the story. It would have been interesting to try to get all the... Because part of this game, which is specific, and... This is going to kind of touch into my predictions, but I don't think it's going to show up in any other games, but who knows, I might be wrong. The fact that you can customize your character, aka Aqua, with a bunch of aesthetic things, such as like cat ears and different colored clothes and stuff like that by doing objectives. So that was interesting. I would have liked to see everything unlocked, but obviously like it would probably took us another 2 hours to get everything. So cool to see. For our purposes, not necessary, but you know, it's still interesting.
You do get a trophy for it, at least.
Yeah, I actually got Devon a trophy that he never got before.
Yeah, because so the funny thing is that I did not have a PS4 around the time when the 2.8 collection dropped. I literally got it the Christmas 2018. I got my PS4, and sure enough, Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out in January. I never got around to actually playing 0.2 until the night Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. So I literally speedrun my way through 0.2 just to be like, yes, this is the perfect prologue for Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's go. So I skipped through a lot of stuff. So yeah, I played around with the customization aspect, but yeah, when I didn't realize that you could earn a trophy that simply by just putting all of the different clothing options on Aqua, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just lazy. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it's cool, but like it's not really necessary. It's not like you get like any buffs from these. Like it's just kind of a fun
purely
thing.
Cosmetic.
Yeah. So cool, but just not necessary.
I'm trying to think the other. So we didn't have time to go through all the post-game stuff, or I guess one post-game stuff. So when you complete the game, you can go back through your old save file, and there's like little zodiac pieces littered across the world, and when you pick them up, you can unlock sort of a boss rush against the dark side, Phantom Aqua, and stuff like that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But sorry, you were saying?
So in terms of gameplay and stuff like that, I like the combat of this one. I didn't really use too much besides the standard like magic and regular attack. Like I did use the shot clock like twice out of the whole campaign, the whole game. I mean, I probably would have used it more if I was really thinking about it, but I was just like, okay, I gotta beat everything, get through the story parts. But yeah, it was good. Like I didn't feel like it was too crazy. Like I know some games in the past have kind of, I wouldn't say complain, but definitely like given a knock on for the combat and the gameplay. Like yeah, it felt fluid enough, especially with Aqua's character being able to like backflip and cartwheel and do like high jumps. Like she's definitely like the easiest character out of Kingdom Hearts as far as I know to play. Like that's what's really nice. And then the controls are still fairly easy. Like there's nothing crazy new about this game. They take elements from earlier games, put it in, and it's like, okay, good, perfect. Story wise, it was good. Kind of wished there was a little bit more to it. But again, like this is meant to just kind of give you a little bit of the in between what's happening with Aqua. It was interesting to see her kind of inner monologue with herself. I don't know, but at the same time, it was weird to see like her saying like, "Oh man, like these places don't exist, and maybe it's just my heart just telling me like I want to see this stuff." But it was weird that they picked at the very beginning like Cinderella's castle. Like I know she spent time in there, but that's kind of just such a weird place. Like I'm not knocking the game for using it, but it just seems weird that they would pick that as a starting place and not like what's it called? Her home.
The Land of Departure. Yeah.
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 Like,
I think the reason they did that was because there were. It was trying to illustrate that. So because this game takes place around the time that Kingdom Hearts 1 is happening, it's supposed to illustrate that all these worlds that you visited in Birth by Sleep have now fallen to darkness, and so the first world that Aqua visited in Birth by Sleep in her campaign was Castle of Dreams, the Cinderella world, and so you go through them as. In the order that you visited, that Aqua visited those worlds in Birth by Sleep, but now they're all corrupted and stuff and whatnot.
Okay, scratch what I said earlier. It's been a while since I've played the game, so
like
my memory. So the audience will have to excuse me for my old man memory. But the story was good. I just wish there was like more to it, but I mean, if the game's supposed to be short, then I can't really knock it any points for doing what it's supposed to just do.
Yeah.
In terms of the campaign and the story. I guess the first real gripe, and even Devon says the backgrounds and all the like animation and like the terms of like fabrics and stuff like that, like everything looks really good except for the skin textures. The skin texturing on the characters is really plasticine / clay like. It's like they've got no shadows, which is really odd. Like I know I could see it on Mickey, like it's
you can definitely see it on Mickey, especially in that last little bit. It's rough.
Like, well, I could see it more being a little bit more excusable because he's more of a cartoonish character to begin with. But like, even Aqua, it's like looking at her face, it's like there's like no shadowing. It's like they're constantly like their whole skin and their face is like constantly under light, which is just kind of odd. It's like no, like if they're in a world where you know you got different lighting effects going on, you should see shadows, maybe some different, like even different colorations, like certain. Your skin's not perfectly the same shade throughout, so it's just kind of odd. But this is again just a cosmetic thing, so it's not really. So overall, if that's like the only knock on the game, I guess overall it's good. I just wish it was a little bit longer, and I wish the skin texture was a little bit better. But campaign wise, like the story was easy to grasp. It wasn't like all over the place, which was good. Like it wasn't like
it was very straightforward.
Unlike some games like Recoded.
Oh Jesus, no!
Like it was straight to the point. So like the story, I will say, was really good. Like,
yeah, I forget where I was gonna go with that, but yeah, the Unreal Engine 4. This was the first game that utilized it as an actual game. We kind of saw glimpses of it with back cover. It was it also used Unreal Engine 4 to render all the cutscenes and whatnot, but this is the first game that was using it. And I would say, like Josh said, the backgrounds and the actual models themselves, they look fine in terms of. I think this game looks pretty. Like as an upgrade going from what we played before to now, it looks really good. I will agree though, the character models look very off when you look at their skin texture. When Terra shows up in Castle of Dreams with his plastic-looking ass face, with his doughy ass grin, and I looked to him, it's like, hey, it's the Pillsbury Doughboy. How's it going? It's
like, you ever hear that game? Oh, geez, was it Army Soldiers or whatever? And it's like little plastic army men. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. I don't know. I don't know. It seems weird. Like you spend all this time, and like you do see the backgrounds more often than the own characters that you're playing, but it just seems kind of weird that they would spend so much time and making. Pardon me, all the backgrounds look amazing in my eyes. They look fantastic, and then the character models are kind of just meh. It's like, okay, well, when you just do like a 50-50 on you? Anyways, this is all cosmetic stuff. So
I guess to stick with gameplay a little bit, I guess we can't really talk about favorite worlds because it's really only one world, which is the Realm of Darkness. But it did have 3 different, or I guess technically 4 different sections. What would you say was your favorite section to go through there, Josh?
I really liked. I kind of liked the beginning. The fact that it showed like, as you're traversing, like it's all like falling apart, and there's kind of like this blue ice / glass. I can't quite tell. I think it's kind of like fragments of glass. Like that was sick. Like the mirror world or the mirror section of the world was interesting, but like it wasn't really. I mean, the section where the columns, you have to like find the broken or the glowing column and break it, and then find that mirror inside of it. That was kind of cool, but like it wasn't really like super visually spectacular. It was interesting, but it wasn't like anything crazy. Like the section with all the fragments of the world kind of splitting and on different levels, so you have to like jump and traverse it. That was really cool. Like that was kind of interesting to see. Like. Because Kingdom Hearts has been, as a series, been really weird like that way. Like they've gone from like, okay, we're a platform kind of game we're combat with the elements of platform in it, to okay, we're just strictly combat and platforming is just non-existent. To this game, which is like, they've had some interesting platforming in it, and the combat was pretty, I'd say, really good. I honestly, I'm hoping Kingdom Hearts 3 uses the same kind of combat style.
I'll confirm it. For the most part, yeah.
Perfect, because like I said, I've had my issues with some past games where the combat was so. I wouldn't say none of this combat in the games have been unusable, but like there's been so many games where it's like, holy cow, there's so many options and none of them I use. Like I rarely use, and it's like, okay, it's just adding more confusion to a fighting. Like this isn't like a Arma 3 type of game where. like it's a war simulator where I need to have like 15 billion options and each key does a separate. It's like no, just like give me a button to press when I want to smash things with my keyblade and a button to press when I want to shoot some magic. Like just keep it streamlined, please. Like this is what are you doing? What are you doing? Just, yeah, so this was perfect with the combat. I'm glad that you're confirming Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be basically the same thing.
Yeah, well, with this being an elaborate tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3, I think it makes sense. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3 does have some extra stuff that wasn't introduced in this game, but for the most part, the gameplay features that were featured here in 0.2 carry over to Kingdom Hearts 3. So, it's... Oh! Yes.
I just remembered. They added 2 new enemy types for the
Heartless, yes.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. Like a fire one and a water one.
Yeah, the fire cores and the water cores. Yeah, so 2 different types of pure blood Heartless that are magic specific. So if you, for example, the water cores, there's an attack specific that they do where they shield themselves in water, and you can't really attack them with physical attacks, but if you hit them with fire, it takes a huge chunk of their health as well as it evaporates their shield, and you can do physical attacks on them again, which I think is really smart. It really goes to show that Osaka team is starting to take some of the feedback that they've heard from past games to say, hey, we know how to do competent enemy design and all that noise. So
yeah, that was a nice feature to see. Like, I wish we could have saw maybe another 1 or 2 extra types, because it was mostly just a cannon fodder regular Heartless that was mostly strewn about the map or the world. But it was nice to see 2 new types in there. Like, it was nice to see that as an added feature on top of the just amazing looking map to begin with, like in overall. But I'm trying to really think if there's any other new stuff, or we're just rambling at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's not really much in terms of plot. I think this is a really good small scale story of what Aqua was dealing with. I think it's really nice how it ties up with Kingdom Hearts 1 and sort of how it was really fascinating watching it, seeing how Aqua actually was part of Kingdom Hearts 1's events and somehow, and that she and Mickey met before. We see how he got the Kingdom Key D, which is really cool. We learn how Mickey lost his shirt in Kingdom Hearts 1, which is why, of all the details, Nomura, you want to be so detail-oriented with how everything matches up. You had to go out of your way to explain how Mickey lost his shirt? Really? Okay.
You know what? I'm kind of miffed about that. You know what they should have done? They should have done a Samurai Jack-esque thing where Mickey just hulks out and just rips his shirt with his muscles.
Yes.
And fights the Heartless, and then like has to go. But like, yeah, they should have done something like that. Like he just hulks up or like goes Super Saiyan, or just like powers up, like uses his immense Mickey energy just to shred his shirt. Like it can't contain the Mickey. King Michael Roden just goes ham.
Minerva would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, but it was kind of interesting and weird to see, like, yeah, they actually go to the length of... Yeah, they can't be bothered to detail his plasticine looking face, but they gotta give the detail of him, how he lost his shirt. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see. Like, I do love when games actually really spend the time to do that, though. Like, I know I sound like I'm ragging on it, but... It is just kind of funny, but it is good to see when, like, how many other types of media, like we're talking movie, books, and stuff like that, actually really make sure that they cover as many bases as they can with their details. Like, so I as weird as it sounds, I will applaud them on even something as simple and small as this, that they actually spend the time to think like, okay, we want to make sure this makes sense, and people aren't going to be questioning like, how did he lose his shirt? Like, let's make this make sense. So, although the games can sometimes get kind of convoluted and crazy with their storyline, at least if you're paying attention, they're following like a path that they want to continue on with. So, other than that, I can't really think of. What was weird, like there wasn't many items in the game too. I know this was kind of short too. That was an interesting thing to find out too. Like,
like there's plenty of treasure chests. Excuse me, I thought I was gonna burp. There are plenty of treasure chests littered around the game for you to pick up items and whatnot. But yeah, because we were playing on beginner too, so magic was kind of easy for us to come by. But yeah, we definitely didn't have to use potions and ethers and whatnot. We could just focus on Kiraga and run it out. Like, yeah.
This game's a 0 out of 10. You know why?
Why?
They don't have any Moogle shops.
Oh my god, no! No!
Or any gummy ship levels.
No!
No, but yeah, like, now to think about it, it's like, yeah, they don't even have Moogle shops, which is kind of cool. It's just like pure get into the action and go through the story and fight. I kind of like that, actually. It's like, I know that obviously Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be the end for this particular storyline, but it'd be kind of interesting if they continue on with the Kingdom Hearts series and do games like this, maybe a little bit longer, but it'd be kind of cool to see, like, okay, let's make it even more streamlined. Like, maybe it'd be kind of cool, and I'd hope to see in the future out of Kingdom Hearts is maybe come up with characters that maybe they can't use magic. They can only use your Keyblade. So magic item or magic is off the list, and you have to really focus on your potions and whatnot. You can't heal yourself using magic, or vice versa. Like, maybe you can't use your Keyblade and you have to use Well, that'd be kind of too crazy, I guess. You'd have to really make the game vastly different to have just a magic only type of character. But it would be kind of interesting if they did something like that.
Fair enough.
Or even just a level section. Like, maybe have a character fight out and as a side, like maybe a side character, be like, okay, well, let's have a mission where this mage side character or whatever only uses magic, and after that you don't play with them again, but just to throw it in there. I don't know. But yeah, this kind of stuff is kind of interesting to see because, as he said, it just gives us insight for what's going to happen in the next game. So yeah, and I guess we can move on to that now.
Yeah, so
predictions.
So yeah, before we move on to predictions, it has been a while since we've gone through all the games. When we started this, what is it? This is the middle of May that we're recording this. We started this back in February, March of last year. So it's been a year since we started this journey. Yeah. And I feel like because we've come this far, we owe it to ourselves, and especially to you, Josh, to do sort of a little bit of a recap on everything that's happened so far. And I feel like the best way to do so is to actually talk about an aspect of these games that we haven't really touched on that much. Because, we talked about the games themselves, the development cycle, the developers themselves, Nomura, Hashimoto, all of them, and what they've went into. But the one aspect that we haven't really talked about concerning Kingdom Hearts is the fandom. The Kingdom Hearts community, the fans, them. Because I feel like the Kingdom Hearts community is kind of like the opposite of the more optimistic version of Star Wars fans who berate every aspect of the franchise out of some sort of cynicism. Kingdom Hearts fans, I feel like when we berate the series, it is out of a place of love because we love it and we want to see it succeed, because we still don't hate it, even though we still gatekeep more than we should. And yeah, there are plenty of people online. Some of them good friends of mine that I've met. Lots of content creators, especially on YouTube. But there's one content creator that I do want to signal out, who are going to be very vital to what we're going to talk about, and that is the YouTuber known as Everglow. Now, Everglow is runs a YouTube Kingdom Hearts YouTube channel where he shows stuff like mods that people have made for some of the games, different mashup videos, just with gameplay and random stuff. But stuff that really shows off his editing style. So a year before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, so March, I believe, of 2018, he started a series called Kingdom Hearts Timeline, which is basically a series in which he placed all of the Kingdom Hearts games, cutscenes, gameplay, whatever, all in complete chronological order, starting from Key all the way to the end of 0.2. Just to sort of give a full chronological history of everything that's happened up to going into Kingdom Hearts 3. So every flashback, every Ansem report, all of that is featured there. But because This was very different and required a lot of heavy editing. Everglow went the extra mile and added a bunch of different editing techniques that managed to make some of the big moments from the Kingdom Hearts series land even harder than I thought were possible. In fact, I would go as far as to say that second to actually playing the games themselves, this is hands down the best way to experience the series. I know that's a lot of hyperbole, but I would, if you don't have access to the games, I highly recommend watching this series in its entirety if you have any interest in the games and you don't have the option to actually play them yourself. Obviously, we're not going to watch all the episodes because it's plus 100 episodes and we don't have time for that, but Everglow did make a highlight reel of some moments from the series, and I thought, as a good opportunity for us to recap the series, to sort of get ourselves fresh with everything that's happened, we would go through these highlight reels and sort of get your opinion on it, as well as just sort of reflect on how far we've come. How does that sound, Josh?
That sounds fantastic, because my memory's like an aged stoner. Like, it is just not... It's pretty barren. It's been so long since I've played the games that I only got fragments of what happened. Especially
A Fragmentary Passage, Josh.
Yes. Well, we've kind of decided to name this game Kingdom Hearts Bay Edition.
Edition.
I think. I don't know.
We've played around.
We've tried to make the title a little bit shorter. But yeah. I'm totally down for watching and recapping the stuff that I've probably forgotten. Especially with Recoded scrambling my brain and concept of what Kingdom Hearts is.
Don't worry, Recoded is a footnote. We won't have to worry about it too much. But we're going to pause it here. We're going to go watch those, and we will be back momentarily. back.
And front.
Oh, Jesus. So, Josh, in addition to getting a recap of everything that we've seen thus far, what were your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts timeline, or what we've seen of it thus far?
I'm having a hard time describing it in words.
Okay.
In a positive sense, like.
Oh, so you didn't like it?
No, no. I mean, like, I can't believe someone would spend that much time doing that much editing. Like, it really shows, like, how much the fandom really appreciates the game series. To go through the lengths that I saw, like, it was amazing. Like, you have to send me that YouTube channel so I can, when I've got some spare time, watch all the episodes, because it's amazing. Like, even if you played the games, I suggest watching all through, because oh my god, it was just art, like pure art. Like, the man knows how to edit, and the fact that he made a lot of the, like, you said that he had a mod team that he
so there were a couple of mods, I forget their names, but yeah, for the 358 over 2 days section of the timeline series, the man and his Everglow and a couple of moderators, they recreated days with assets of Kingdom Hearts 2, which I think is absolutely insane, but just goes to show how much care, and also just kind of goes to show how much people love Days, because I agree. I think Days has a really good story, but I feel like the Nintendo DS really let it down by how much potential that kind of story could be told on such a grand scale. This pushes that forward. It's really cool. In addition to also having Project Astadi, they do a bunch of covers, like orchestral covers and stuff of different Kingdom Hearts songs and whatnot. They lent some of their tracks to this project as well. Holy shit! It's really good stuff.
So visually, like auditorily, is that how like audio-wise?
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, musically, I guess I'd say. I don't know. Just fantastic. Like, I don't really have any gripes. Like, I will say some of the cutscenes I noticed that they've made up in mod, like some of the parts of the mods in certain games, like the textures were a little bit rough, but like, I can't make any of that myself in any capacity, so I really can't, like, I don't know how, I can't even imagine the amount of effort and work it would go into doing anything remotely like that. So I wouldn't even fault them on that. I'm just really pointing it out more for to just say that it's there, and not really knocking anything against them, because just my jaw's on the floor right now. Like, that's why I'm having a hard time explaining, like, just how fantastic it is. Just watch it. Just go and watch. Go on to Everglow's channel. Hit the like button and the notification bell. Just send the man some Patreon money. Just send him gold. You know, your firstborn child. Just give them all the love, because they obviously deserve it. This is just fantastic.
Good way of putting it.
And it was also nice to just recap, like, some of the stuff. Like, it's kind of weird to see, like, characters that are friends fight each other. Like, the fact that, like, Ventus, like, Ven becomes, you know, Roxas, and then ends up fighting Riku, and it's like, Ven and Roxas is kind of tied to Sora, and Sora also fought Riku, so it's super weird to kind of see. It's like Riku's fought his friend, like, more times than, like, fought enemies at this point. It seems like it's kind of weird to think about.
It's kind of funny to think about. I was watching I forget who's streaming. Oh, it was the artist formerly known as Star Skyward. On one of his Twitch streams, he was talking about, like, Sora has whooped everybody's ass in this series at least once. And it's hilarious to reflect on, like, oh yeah, he's bodied Riku God knows how many times. He's fought Roxas on so many occasions. He fought Axel. He beat up Terra, technically, because he fought Lingering Will. When you just go down the list, I'm like, Okay, all right, makes sense.
Man's just coming in hot, like just like backhands everybody, then that's it. Just like he's got like almost godlike abilities at this point. It's fantastic.
And yet he still failed the mark of mastery.
Are we gonna see like an Anakin style like revenge plot in the third game now?
We already had the Anakin plotline with Terra in Birth by Sleep, okay?
Just I can't become a master. What is this? I'm gonna go to the dark side. Just go over to the darkness.
Yeah. But on that note, we've recapped on everything that's happened so far, and we've gone through every game up to this point. So there's literally nothing else standing in our way to go into the next game. So without
this man lies.
I only do it out of love, Josh. Please listen. But now that we have had all the games out of the way, we have all the context out there.
You sure?
I'm sure.
100%.
I'm 100%.
You're not gonna pull out like some Kingdom Hearts game that was on the back of a cereal box that like adds freaking content or something?
No.
Is canon?
We already had the mobile game. We've already gone through the hell that is that.
Okay.
You don't need to worry about it.
Okay, I can breathe.
So you can breathe easy for a little bit.
Nice.
But to close out this episode, Josh, to end it all out, what are your predictions for Kingdom Hearts 3?
I think that yeah. No,
yeah, definitely.
no, I think the game's just gonna be a game, just good times. No, I think we're gonna finally see everything, at least for this particular storyline, come to the end. That's a pretty easy blanket statement. As for the finer details, we're gonna see obviously Aqua being pulled out of the realm of darkness. I don't think they're just gonna leave her there. Like the fact that Mickey in this last game is pretty much like we're gonna go get her. I don't know how it's gonna play out though. I don't know if they're gonna get Aqua, then wake up Ven, and then try to go from there. Maybe get the lingering will possibly to then help defeat Xehanort to get I'm really drawing blanks here. Defeat Xehanort, and then from there Terra would be free, because as far as I remember, that Xehanort's using Terra's body as a meat puppet, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
So I'm trying to think of like what would Sora be doing in the meantime, because I hate to spoil it for myself, because I know that there's other worlds. There's different worlds he goes to. It's like, okay, why would you need to maybe find?
Well, if you at the end of 0.2, Yensid says like, "Oh, the power of waking. That was something that you failed to get in your mark of mastery. If you can go to all these Disney worlds, maybe you'll be able to find the answers you're looking for and be able to get that power, so that we can go have our big badass Keyblade war."
Okay, there we go. Yeah, putting that all together. I would love to see. I have a feeling they will. I have a feeling they will. The fact that you can play Aqua in these other games, I want to see Kairi as a playable character in some form. Like, do something. Do something. I don't know. She's becoming like she's becoming kind of like Sakura from Naruto. Like, she's totally useless. She's just a background character. It's not the same, but let's say she's a bad character. But it's like I want to see some character progression besides her hair getting longer. I'm rambling on here. I think we're gonna see some character progression, because the fact that these games have been fantastic with story and character progression, it would be kind of silly to see Kairi just tossed to the wayside and nothing done with her. But I think we might actually see Yensid do something too, besides just give directions. I think near the end he's gonna help out and use his powers. I think we're gonna actually see a lot of the previous characters show up too, like the ones from like the Final Fantasy series, so like Sid, Yuffie, what's her name with the pink dress?
Aerith.
Aerith.
Yeah.
Cloud, like those characters I think are gonna show up again for sure and help out in the final like fight. I think honestly the ending's gonna be like a massive battle, like another key war style battle scene, like, and I think that all the characters are gonna be fighting their equivalent to like bad guys, so like Cloud versus what's his rival? Sephiroth, like so on and so forth, like, you know what I mean? Like they'll have their equivalent rivals to fight at the end, and then Sora will be fighting like Xehanort, like one-on-one. Like maybe some help along the way, but like that would be the end cutscene. Would be like, yeah, Sora just backhand Xehanort with a keyblade, and just like that's the end of the game. In terms of leading up, be interesting to see. Like I know 2 of the worlds, unfortunately. Like I've kind of
I've already kind of spoiled you on what Disney worlds there are, because I will admit, going into Kingdom Hearts 3, it will be helpful for you to watch the actual Disney movies that are in these new worlds.
Some of them I haven't seen yet. Well, most of them I have. Some of them I haven't. It'll be interesting to see how with the new engine. How they actually design the characters. Like I'm curious to see, like, because for the most part they make Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they change up their character visually to reflect the world they go into. So it'll be interesting to see, like, some of these I'm really interested to see what they look like. I think the Unreal 4 engine in general is just going to blow my mind with their scenery. There's going to be definitely new enemy types. It's freaking the 3rd game, like there's going to be a lot of new stuff, like except for combat. You said like it's pretty much they've kind of nailed that at this point. Pardon me. I think I don't know, it'd be interesting to see more platforming, maybe some unique platforming, maybe like some puzzle solving, like kind of a Legend of Zelda-esque thing. Like maybe you have to do some puzzle solving, which would add some interesting things to it. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if anything else that could happen story-wise in between besides waking up Ven, getting Aqua out of the Realm of Darkness, waking up Ven, and then basically gearing up for a massive war to defeat Xehanort to get Terra's body back. Like I can't really think of anything in between that might go on. Maybe just saving worlds in general, but I can't think of anything else that would be kind of mind-blowing. Maybe Xehanort pulls some tricks and he has to fight like some older bosses along the way.
It's cool.
I don't know. I generally can't think of anything else. Like it's probably a good thing though, because this game's gonna be from I don't know if I've overhyped it in my mind, but like I'm betting it's gonna be huge. So I'm kind of good. I'm kind of glad I can't really think of anything else besides like the basics, because I guarantee they're knowing Nomura in his storytelling, he's gonna pull something right out of left field that I'm not gonna see. A fastball just coming right for me in the back of the head, like it's gonna be fantastic. So it's gonna be amazing to see finally like everything gonna be polished and smooth. For the most part, you said they didn't really have any issues with the engine?
Not necessarily. There are a few pop-in textures and whatnot that you've kind of already seen in 0.2, but for the most part, they've polished it up. They took a little bit more time to really polish it and make it look nice.
Well,
so,
how long was this game in development for?
Excuse me. This game started development in... Oh, excuse me. The game started in development in 2013.
Holy cow!
But now they actually started it on a different engine before. They were originally starting on Square's in-house engine called Luminous. This is the same engine that they made Final Fantasy 15 on. However, they were having massive problems with it, so they had to restart in 2014, 2015 development on the Unreal Engine 4 engine. So, yeah, I would say it took about 4 or 5 years of development to make.
That's still...
then again, they were making a lot of the assets from the ground up, so...
I'd rather them spend the time making a fantastic game than a lot of like companies that stress their employees out and rush out games and end up being just dumpster fires. So good on them though to take the time to do this, and obviously like it paid off. Like as far as I know, like it's pretty popular, it sold well.
It sold really well. It's actually if I remember my sale number correctly, I think it was the highest selling. It's the highest selling game in the series thus far, so it's pretty good. And on that topic, I am actually really glad that I have someone to go into this with relatively blind, because it would give me sort of a perspective of someone who hasn't seen, because me being the Kingdom Hearts fan living in the 21st century, I of course watched all the trailers and whatnot that came out with it, so I knew a lot of information going in, but I think it will be really interesting to see how you react to this, not having seen a lot of like trailers and whatnot.
I think I only saw one. You showed me a long time ago. Like this, I think it was like the very first trailer that came out, and you were like on the borderline of like curling up and crying on how amazing this was. Like I remember you were super excited, and I was just like, I have no idea what this is, but I'm glad that you're happy, dude. So yeah, like I remember very, very little fragments. Like so yeah, fairly blind going into this. I like I said, I think I have the basic storyline down, but in terms of what's going on in between, I have no idea. There's probably going to be a bunch of weird stuff. It'd be interesting. They'll probably, God knows what, they'll probably pull lots of weird story and game mechanics that I'm not going to fathom. Knowing Nomura, the fact that they spent quite a long time putting this together, they probably pulled some really cool tricks. So I'm excited.
I'm really excited. Kingdom Hearts 3, not to overhype it too much, because but I will say this is probably one of my favorite gaming experiences is with this game. Just specifically when the time period in which I got to play it. It really means a lot to me in that point, and just sort of how far we've come and what it's accomplished. Yeah, I'm really excited for Josh to experience it. So yes, we will be playing Kingdom Hearts 3 next. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do the podcast next time, because the way I see it right now is that for the podcast next time we get to record, we'll be doing just the base game only, and then afterwards we will be talking about the DLC that came out afterwards. It'll still all be in one episode. Yeah, it'll still all be in one episode, but we're gonna split up our time playing it, just because I want to see Josh's reactions to both how the base game turned out and what the DLC offered in return. But that is going to conclude for this episode. I'm really excited to finally jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 after all this time. It took us not as long as for the actual game to come out, but it took us a while to finally get to this point.
You imagine in celebration, we now must wait another 4 years.
Imagine. You have to go through what we experienced, Josh.
You don't know real fandom until you torture yourself like we had to go through.
Imagine. But yeah, we're going to jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 very soon, and I'm very excited to jump into it. Thank you, Josh, as always, for joining me on today's episode.
My pleasure. I've watched, and I haven't played many video games lately. I've only watched people on YouTube like play really crappy... Well, I shouldn't rag on it, but just really simple indie games for the most part. I will say a really crappy game is the Monopoly game.
Oh, no.
Apparently, I think it was made by Ubisoft.
Oh,
and
no.
It's really terrible, apparently, online. Like, there was a lot of weird stuff going on. Anyways, long story short, I haven't played or watched anything really good except for Doom Eternal, but that's a whole other story. So this is really exciting for me to actually get into some really good gaming. So, I am pumped.
Yes, I am also pumped to be finally jumping into Kingdom Hearts 3 on a brand new experience with a blind player. This is going to be so much fun. But until we get to that point, this will conclude today's episode of Kingdom Hearts 101. Thank you all so much, as always, for tuning in, listening to us. If you like what you heard, like this video, share it with your friends, and be sure to comment below what you thought on Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage, mouthful of peanut butter and chocolate. And as always, be sure to like Shadow Shovel Production, follow Shadow Shovel Productions on both Twitter and Instagram for more on yours truly. And until next time, I would say that's about it. Josh, do you have any final remarks?
I would say just get into the gaming. Just watch it, play it if you can. Just get into it, man. Like so far, like I say Devon's converted me into a fan. So fantastic.
I have done it, guys. I have done it.
my new bae is also Aqua. So yeah, she's taken, guys. Sorry.
Beautiful. That's gonna conclude today's episode. Please, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay awesome, and as always, may your heart be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.